I wanted to make an imitation of Barbizon school artists, and this is copying in the style of Jules Dupre, and he was a Barbizon school artist and very prominent and very bold strokes. So I wanted to be as true to his style. So I'm using Prussian blue, sap green, titanium white, cadmium yellow, alizarin crimson permanent, and burnt umber. So here I'm going to do a rule of thirds. This is my own composition, not his, but I'm going to use some of his elements. Doing a drawing very quickly, indicating the trees. At this point, I don't know what the painting would look like because the trees were real, but not the other elements that are going to be shown into this painting. So I am totally unaware. Now I'm thinking that there might be some clouds, and then after that, I decided to copy in the manner of Jules Dupre. So this is just a development rather than a preconceived idea. Now using burnt umber as well as some French ultramarine. This is just for the initial layers. Using bold strokes to cover the areas to indicate the tonal aspect of the painting. Just indicating the how dark the trees are going to be. And even in this condition, I am not totally aware of what I am going to do. It was just a development later on. So mixing Prussian blue, very powerful color, and this is the first segment of applying color, and this is fairly light. And the problem with Prussian blue, according to Carlson, is that it is going to get into your daily lives, but it's such a beautiful color, and with such a beautiful history attached to it. It is one of the first synthetic pigments accidentally developed. So you find it very interesting while painting. Now using titanium white to indicate the lighter masses in the beginning. The strokes are very scattered right now. I'm just putting things there. It's very sketchy, very loose. This is more or less just the way I paint, but eventually I saw that Jules Dupre also painted in this manner, creating an interplay between the light as well as the shadows. And this is burnt umber mixed with some red, sometimes yellow, random colors. No, nothing too seriously done. Just following what he did with the clouds, and the trees are mine. So this is a copy, as I've mentioned before, and this is just a slight faint amount of white there. And now started with the ground section. Here I'm totally, I was lost about what am I going to do, but gradually it took shape, and I indicated the central focal point. So filling in the masses, indicating the lighter areas. So there is no reference. I'm just thinking and doing while, thinking and painting. Just put some, lighter areas in the water section as well. This wasn't a preconceived notion as well. I just did it instinctively. Now using a fan brush to indicate the darker masses. This is an idea that I got from Stefan Baumann. a great US painter, and sometimes this helps in creating random foliage. A very beautiful way to indicate foliage as well. I mean, really nice. The fan brushes are nice. I just now I'm putting down the highlight. Now things are slightly clearer to me. What am I going to do? So that is the central focal point, and gradually I'll be emphasizing that more and more. Now, as well as while doing that, I'll be emphasizing on the ground structure as well. It's not an even surface. Sometimes it's slightly bumpy and lumpy kind of a structure, so I'm going to do that. So here as well, I'm just thinking what to do with it. Sometimes adding darkness, sometimes adding light, sometimes creating a transition. So just creating a pattern so that the viewer can move around the picture and get to that tree, and then get to that cloud, and then come back and then roam around. That is the idea of doing a landscape painting. And this is, since this is not going to be a very important piece, so I'm less worried. I'm just thinking, that's all. You're creating some a contrast between dark and light. Light is the most important thing. Where you put your light is going to be the most important factor in the painting. So any one particular area must have all the light. That is the central focal point. Other areas will remain in the darkness, and sometimes there would be some hints of light in between. So here in the cloud section, I'm totally following the great Barbizon artist and just blending some areas. Even here, I'm trying to be as random as possible. I'm using this very interesting palette knife and a painting knife. It's very thin, but it's rounded, so it can make good rounded marks. And creating the highlight in the water section as well. More lighter sections, just very sketchy marks. I'm trying to adjust the camera as well. This palette knife is very useful. I keep calling it palette knife. It's actually a painting knife. It's not for cleaning palettes, although you can. Now this I forgot. This is the distant foliage area, and this should have been done after finishing the block in for the clouds, but I'm doing it now. But isn't much of a problem. I just finished it. Just marks here and there. Top of the section should be lighter, and I'm doing that. Blending with fingers. Now I'm working on the tree. Tree gave me some trouble because this is not a real tree. This is what I was thinking how the tree would look like. So it's slightly exploratory. But I'm using a very bad old brush to create this random mark, and the tree is done. Putting some highlights to create the land division between land and the distant foliage, and the foreground as well, creating some reflections. Very interesting. I mean, I did this in about 2 hours, and the video is about 11 minutes. So it didn't give me any trouble whatsoever. Just explored it and finished it. A small painting, exploring options, exploring what the earlier masters did, using a brush to create some lighter patterns, again enhancing the reflections. Fan brush is very useful for these things. Now here I'm doing a very important part. I'm putting down the dents to create some interesting shapes and separating it from the other masses. Here is the finished painting. If you like this little video, please hit the like button and also subscribe for future videos. And thank you, and take care and stay safe. Bye.